Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Miraculous Ladybug, New Powerpuff Girls, Star Wars, The Force of Evil, and RWBY. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey y'all.
Today, Delaney and I will be discussing Chapter 8 of Volume 4 of RWBY, a much-needed talk. I feel like that description is up for debate, whether it was much needed or not. We will discuss whether this talk was much needed that we're given in this happy RWBY New Year's Eve special, Delaney. Are you happy to get your dose of RWBY on not only Christmas Eve but New Year's Eve this year?
This one less so than the Christmas Eve one, I guess.
I think I don't know. It's fine. They should just tell us, when they're coming.
Yes.
This time, the only way to know would be going to the RWBY Facebook page. So that's where a day ago. So, we'll see if it's new next week. But, we were rolling through the season. Only four episodes left this season. We were just talking about the midway point, and now only 4 left. We're moving fast, and we'll cover it all here at the Overly Animated Podcast. You can check us out at overlyanimated.com or search for the Overly Animated Podcast on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, or your other favorite podcatcher. Spoilers for this episode. We get into RWBY every week here. I'll check out our discussions. If you're listening on YouTube, give us a subscribe. Thank you very much for listening there. And you can see all of our other animation discussions if you subscribe to us there. So, Delaney, spoilers for this episode. And general impressions on, here's your New Year's present, Delaney. It is your yearly RWBY lore dump.
Yep.
What did you think of this year's lore dump?
Okay, so this lore dump was better
than last year's dump.
Than last year's dump.
Yes, I agree with that, yeah.
It's what I wanted when I talked about, the last time when we talked about the last episode, just talking about I wanted Qrow to tell us stuff and us have some animation. It was very the Three Brothers-y. It was the Two Brothers. It was, less annoying than the Maidens. It made slightly more sense. Granted, it was very much presented in the mythology. Like, you're dealing with gods, and it's like, okay, it doesn't have to make sense. But I will say that in typical RWBY fashion, it's like, we're going to talk about things the audience already knows, because for some stupid reason at this point, our protagonists don't know.
Yep. Yeah.
And then we're going to drop a little bit of new information that you absolutely do not care about, and then still not answer any of the questions we have, and still vaguely referring to the 3 things you want answers to. Thank you, Qrow.
Very accurate.
Thanks.
Very accurate description of this episode. But this episode also had Blake.
It did have Blake. Yay, Blake! And then she slapped Sun, which is a highlight for me
was
always.
Was that the best part of the episode, Blake slapping Sun?
I think so. And she slapped him twice, so it's like, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I think that's 3 times this season now she slapped him. I think that happened once
he deserves
before.
it.
Yeah.
So,
overall, though, did you like a much-needed talk? Was the talk much needed? No?
I don't think the talk was much needed. Jaune was super annoying in this episode. It was fine. I don't know. It wasn't awful. It wasn't great. It's definitely not as good as the Christmas Eve episode, but it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is similar to the last week's episode. I don't know. It's whatever. It's certainly, the thing is, the first reaction is, wow, they're giving us another giant lore dump. We just had one last year, and now it's another one. One per season, that's a lot. But it was much better than Fall, the 6th episode of the 3rd season, which was, I think, the worst episode of the show.
Yes.
The one they explained all the maiden stuff, that came out of nowhere. At least they kind of set up the relics this season.
Granted, I did like the maiden stuff.
I think I actually think the maiden lore is better than the relic lore.
Yes.
But it was just presented so awfully, that episode.
Well, no, that's fair. I don't know, the relic thing, we know about the relics, we don't really understand what's going on with them, but now it's what? I don't know, it's there's too many, as per usual with RWBY, there's too many things going on at once, and none of them seem related.
Yeah, no, none of these seem related. They really have to connect the relics and the maidens ASAP, or else this is just nonsense.
Well, because at first I was like, oh, do they mean the maidens? And they're like, the relics. And I was like, never mind, you lost me.
Yeah, I'm already seeing speculation on, are the maidens part of the relics or something like that, and I think that's not what they're going for, but it's understandable why people would try to connect them, because they really should be. Yeah, so I thought this episode was fine. the show's tendency to just talk at us and reveal further information when I really don't care about any of this lore. All I want to see is the characters I care about interact, and they just refuse to give that. And instead they just give us more nonsense lore is infuriating. That being said, it was presented okay. Like, this is typical of the RWBY this season. This season, what they're doing is like, I can't possibly understand why they would do this. But they just continue to do it, and at least they're presenting it better than last season, I guess. The thing is, this episode is better evidence than anyone before that they really are going for this like 13 season plan, which is so absurd. But we've heard this before. They said it like, we have an outline for 13 seasons of the show, and we're actually going to do that. And of course you don't believe them, because that's nonsense. No show ever plans 13 seasons in advance. That's never happened ever. Most shows don't even get 13 seasons. A show that's lore heavy like this almost has never gotten this many seasons. I mean, it's different because they're actually producing the show in the place that's like financing it, so they maybe have better knowledge of like whether that's a realistic outcome. But that's just such nonsense. But they just keep dropping exposition on us, so we must still be in the exposition part of the show. Like, we must still be on like the rising action. Like, we're not like,
God.
That's the only explanation for why they would continue to do this. Like, present maidens last season, present relics this season. We're not at a point yet where all of our elements are in place, so we can have them come together. So I really just think this is a big evidence of them going for the 13 season plot arc,
which is ridiculous.
Yeah, and I've talked a lot about this with people in the comments, and I don't think that it's just so different than anything else we've ever seen ever. And I think that it's really a bad idea, because one of my prime things for shows is like, do what you want to do while you still like are on the air and have an audience. Like, just go for it. And this show is absolutely not going for it. We're just
there's also like, the thing is too, you can do this and do it well. That's also the issue. Like, they don't do it well. Like, it's like Volume 1 and Volume 2 are very, like, they're different from each other, and they're very different from Volume 3. And it's not for good reasons. Like, Volume 3 it's different in a very bad way. And now we're like, it's just, we could do this. We could go for a 13 season plan and like have exposition bombs, and we could do it well. But the show doesn't do it well. And it's just like, you can't have all these pieces and then try to string them together it's just, they're not, like, whatever they want, they're not executing it well.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if the show's, like, really good at lore exposition, but it's like, the weakest part of the show. I actually think the show's good at character exposition. Like, I think that, the best RWBY ever was seasons 1 and 2, when it was kind of, like, building up its characters. But, this is, like, a different type. This is them trying to build their, like, lore mythology, which, most shows that's very connected to the characters. The show it's not. Like, as you pointed out, RWBY learned about like everything for the first time this episode. So it's clearly it's clearly not connected to its characters.
And then like the lore connected to our character, we have like the gray eye thing, which we still don't understand.
Yeah, and they reference that again, and they did nothing with that. We have the gray eyes, we have the maidens, we have the relics, we have this origin myth. So you wanted a RWBY religion origin myth? That's great. Here you go. That's this episode.
It's here. You're welcome.
And then we have everything with the White Fang, and we have Salem, and we don't even know how Salem connects to this. So, you can, this is the problems with, there's too much information and it's not connected, and I don't care about really any of it. And I don't think I should have to care about any of it to be a fan of this show. Like, they didn't present any of this stuff in seasons 1 and 2. Like, this is all new. That's kind of what I'm trying to. This is
why I watch the show.
Yeah, and
I love mythology. Like, me and Dylan are always about new mythology and shows. Like, we're like, Steven Universe, drop that mythology on me. And then we're watching this, and it's like, what? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, and I'm actually gonna praise some of what they did this episode. Like, I didn't think it was really done that badly, like we discussed, but just the presence of it when we are already
the fact that it exists.
We're already past the point of me caring about lore on the show. Like, it's too much. It's too much. I don't know. Again,
we have the show driven by 4 really awesome female characters, and our origin myth is about dudes. Nice.
Yeah, I don't really know why they did that. I guess the to be fair, I was thinking about this, would be that almost everything else on the show in terms of the lore is kind of with females. Kind of. Like the maidens, So Miles and Carrie would be the type to, like, think about it and be like, oh, we should even it, even though, like, all media is already male-oriented. So they'd be the type that would say, okay, we can even it out with the 2 brothers. But yeah, it could have been brother and sister. I don't know.
Well, I'm curious. Like, I have like 2 new Ozpin theories now.
Oh, so I'll present my grand. This episode only confirms my giant Osmond theory. So let me present that and you comment. So, this episode is like, I'm like more sure of this than Pink Diamond equals Lion in Steven Universe. Like,
Wow.
this is like 100% true.
Wow.
So this episode presents the older good god of light and the younger god of darkness, and we've been talking about how Ozpin and Salem are two eternal reincarnating creatures, and okay, here they are. The the god of light is Ozpin. He's reincarnated into Ozpin, and now he's incarnating into whatever that kid's name is. Completely forgot already. And
What
now,
is his name? I don't even know.
We'll remember, but he's very unimportant. But
Yeah, it's like under character.
yeah, and then we have the god of darkness, who is reincarnated and is now Salem, and that's it. That's who they are.
I'm gonna debunk Salem.
Okay, tell me who Salem is then.
Well, that's okay. That was the other thing that really irritated me about this episode. So, like, they're like, "Oh, we have the god of light, god of darkness, 2 brothers, blah blah blah," blah. And then they're like Salem, and they don't explain who Salem is at all. Like,
Yeah.
really good job, A+, guys. So Salem is something completely different, and they're not going to tell us because that's RWBY, and that's what they like to do. Because they like to tell us stuff we don't care about, and they won't tell us what we want to know. So yeah, so I think it's not like super clear because nothing is ever clear in this show because it's just vague constantly. But I do think the episode has, I think, indicated that Salem is something separate from the gods. Like, we don't know what she is, but she's something separate, and she's related more to the relics. I don't know. Like, she's just some constant source of evil in the world. Like, maybe a product of Grimm.
Yeah, I will say the show would do something like that, have Salem be like a third party. That being said, everything you're describing is what they described the god of darkness in this episode.
I know they did, but then the thing was, it's like her, and they're like Salem. So, like, I don't understand. Like,
So I don't think Qrow knows Salem is the god of darkness. So I think that would explain most of it.
That could be fair, but my thing is, like, I just feel like, no, it also makes sense if Salem's like, Ozpin, he's not dead.
Right,
like, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
But this is also the stupid nonsense the show would do, so I don't know. I just feel like they're trying really hard to, so, okay, 2 options here. They're trying really hard to separate them because they're different, or they're trying really hard to separate them because they're the same person. So who knows? I personally think Salem is something different because that's the kind of nonsense the show would pull.
Yeah, no, I agree that it's less likely that the show would do a clean explanation like what I'm saying. So I think that's the biggest thing against what I'm saying. But the God of Darkness created Grimm, like
they literally, like, everything they describe is like, it's Salem. But then they're like, are they trying to be like, oh, it's a girl. Like, really, guys? Come on.
Yeah, I don't think the gender thing's a big deal. I also think they're going to pull...
It's not. It's just like the way they talked about Salem. It just, none of it makes sense. So who knows?
Yeah, I also think think they're more likely to pull the maiden thing with the boy. I think that, I don't know. I'm getting a bigger indication. I do think Ozpin's like trying to reincarnate him. I don't think Ozpin and Salem are like the actual gods, but I think like they left some part of themselves, and that like passes through a lineage or something like that. Another big thing against this though is that if Ozpin's like a normal age and Salem's like eternal or something, then I don't know how that works. Maybe like she's figured out a way to stop the process. But anyway, I think that's got to be one of the leading theories at this point.
Well, I was kind of also thinking Ozpin was maybe the first human.
Yeah. Okay, that would be good too, because they do say they created humans. Yeah.
So, like, kind of reincarnating, kind of like...
Yeah, that would be interesting. So, something with Ozpin being, like, very old, right? Still the Ozpin being the maiden, old man from the Maiden Tale is still on the table. You'd really hope that the old man connects to one of these two. Like, that would be a good way to tie the two together, I think. And whether the maidens connect to the relics, there's 4 maidens, 4 relics, 4 members of Team RWBY, like, something's gonna happen here. 4 kingdoms, et cetera, et cetera. They connect that in the episode, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, I don't know, those are the highlights, I guess, let's dive into this more, I guess. We'll save the Blake stuff for the end, which I think is probably some of the better stuff of the episode.
Yes.
But, so we go, all of the Team Ranger and Qrow campfire talks, that's all included in this. We have, Silver Eyes, we talk about that, but we don't talk anything about that, right?
Nope.
I got nothing from that.
We learned nothing.
Yeah, talk about some accusations from John of using them as bait.
John is so annoying.
I actually
in this
think
episode.
John had the best line of the episode. Like, John was super annoying, but John says, what is the point of all this? Would you just tell us what's going on?
That's fair.
Which is me to Miles and Carrie literally every episode. So that was why I think John had the line.
That's fair. It's just like, he's just so annoying. And like, honestly, this whole thing with Pyrrha at this point is like, even though I hate John, it's like a disservice to his character at this point. Like, just let him let it go. Like, free him.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't know, because we haven't done much with that. I think I've heard some people saying he was like underreacting.
I mean, that's fair too. I don't know. It's like, when the show never focuses on anything, like, ever.
Yeah, I would love if they let John do other stuff, because he really hasn't done anything this season other than that.
So, like, the show never focuses on anything, and so we're focusing on John, and we're focusing on this Pyrrha stuff, and then we're not. And then the only thing about John this season is Pyrrha, but then none of it really, like, comes together or makes sense. Like, we had the armor thing, that was fine. And then we have him, like, skulking in the forest, and that's fine. And then we have this reaction to Qrow, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm fine with them kind of like focusing on this with John, but I agree it didn't make sense and he didn't like do anything with it and he gave it up, except like, I don't know, it just didn't like work emotionally for me. And
like, they need to do something with it or drop it. Like, it's getting to the point where it's like, we're almost to the end of the season and there has been there's no resolution for John. Like, she's dead. Like, that's it.
Yeah, I do wonder if they're trying to like drag it out because that's like how it would work in life, you know? Like if
which I understand. As someone who very much understands like traumatic grief, it's still like, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all. Like, they're just like,
I don't know if they're really doing that. Like, I don't know what they're doing.
They're not. Like, it doesn't, I mean, a lot of it doesn't make any sense. And I don't know. Also, it's kind of unfair to just focus on John's grief for Pyrrha. Because we are dealing with the majority of it. This is Team Juniper plus RWBY, and
RWBY, Nora, and Ren should also, you know, have emotional attachments here.
Well, especially RWBY. RWBY was there. Like, Jaune wasn't there when everything happened. Like, he was there, like, in the beginning, obviously, and like Qrow called him out on it, like, bruh.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And of course, yes, I hate Jaune. That's well established. And it colors all of my feelings.
That being said, this line from John, what is the point of all this? Would you just tell us what's going on? John 2016.
Same.
John 2016 because it's the last day of 2016, so we have to highlight that.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
Yeah, so that's me to Miles and Carrie. I don't think that line was intentionally self-referential. This episode, I talked about this a million times with the show. This show makes fun of itself constantly, but it's not for earned things. It makes fun of its own flaws, which is really infuriating, but then it doesn't try to correct its flaws. This line from John, we have Nora saying later to, Qrow, like, you're another way. It was something about telling stories, right? Like, you know, like this is the one story.
Why are you tired now?
Yeah. But that's not funny because I'm annoyed also that Qrow is doing that, you know, like this is the show. Yeah, this is a big flaw of Miles's writing is that he tries to make fun of himself, but it's, not for like earned things anyway.
It's just not funny.
Yeah, I don't know. John is John, whatever. This wasn't a big John episode. I don't know who a big episode this was. I guess Qrow. Yeah. We haven't even talked about the worst part of the episode yet, which happens with Qrow later. We'll talk about that, but we'll get there. I'm just going to I bolded some parts of this giant outline because this episode's an exposition dump. So let's just talk about the parts I bolded here with, so we talked about the God of Light, the God of Darkness, made grim. So, and then they came together to make humanity. They give 4 gifts to humanity: knowledge, creation, destruction, and choice. And those are the relics. So to start with, these are dumb. There's one part of this which I very much like, that like the show, surprisingly, Miles and Carrie like to me, like the defining is a very deep philosophical discussion. To me, the defining attribute of humanity is free will and choice. So them like identifying that correctly and giving that as to what it's like that's like a really good origin myth. Is like humans have like the choice to do darkness or light, and I really connected to all that. I do think like making it only one part of the 4 gifts along with creation and destruction, I think like I don't know how much sense that makes. But just the concept of choice, I thought that was really well done.
No, I agree. That one's good. But it's kind of like all of it together is just kind of stupid. But it's fine.
It didn't. Yeah, I don't know why these are the 4 gifts. It was fine. I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad.
Like, well, my thing is, like, knowledge and choice are, like, these abstract concepts that make sense when you put them together. Creation and destruction are, like...
Yeah, I don't get why these are grouped together. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I mean, it's an easy thing to make items of. Like,
Right.
I guess that's why. Like, the item of creation, probably Osbin's staff of knowledge. We'll talk about that. So, like, stuff like that, I guess. Okay, so here's, I think, the best part of this origin dump. We should have talked about it, or this, lore dump. We should have talked about this, but one of the most prominent parts of RWBY's mythology are these, huntsman academies. And it always has not really made a lot of sense. It's kind of just like, okay, we want to make a show about, like, girls going to a school learning to fight. So like that's why there are these prominent academies, and we'll base the world around that, which is, valid. But it doesn't make sense in terms of the show's larger mythology. And I actually think they explain the existence of them like really well. These academies were built to guard the relics. They're built to act as a fortress, and it makes sense to have them as schools because you always have trained warriors there. I actually think this is one of the show's bigger successes in terms of tying its new mythology to its old mythology.
Well, I was beginning to get really not confused, but kind of unsettled, because we're learning all this new mythology, and it's like, okay, then why do we like? I understand the base the base description we had been given at the very beginning of the show. Hunters and huntresses exist to fight Grim. But we've gotten really far away from that, and it's like, is that really why they exist? Like, why do we need them if we have the maidens? Like, that kind of thing. And so now, like, this, like, really made sense. It's like, okay, things are starting to connect a little bit, tad.
I agree. All of this, the lore dump the past 2 seasons has really, kind of made the initial mythology of the show obsolete in a certain way. I think a lot of stuff with Grimm, they've been contradicting and stuff like that. But this is, I feel like, the first time
we haven't revisited Dust.
Yeah, they talk about Dust briefly with the fact that maidens can, the way Qrow explains it, maidens can use magic without dust. I don't know if they've called it magic on the show before, but, I guess they have. But, maidens don't need dust. So they try to connect it there too. But, I feel like this is the first time they've really tied this new mythology to the initial lore of the show well. With this,
yeah, I definitely agree.
I think it's a big success. So you could call that the biggest success of the episode. I think.
I would agree. Like, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I did like that, yeah. And it's also keep it out of her reach. So Salem, not much known about her, wants the relics. It's not going to end well if she gets them, says Qrow. Thanks for that valuable information, Qrow. You're a lot of help. We already knew that.
Yep. Nice.
The way he presents it is it's like Salem is eternal. But he also knows nothing about her, so I don't know if we should trust anything.
I just don't know. Like, what? No. Who knows what's going on?
Yeah. Part 2 of this discussion, no one can know about the relics because they can't cause a panic. Great. We already heard that with the maidens. Great.
Cool.
A+. Trust in the headmasters. The schools are part of stopping Salem. So it's interesting that, all the headmasters of the schools are like, Qrow presents it as like we should trust them. I don't know. We haven't seen 2 of them
this
before.
Kind of makes sense now, actually, from, last season where we had,
they had like a council. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, they had a
council, and the thing was, they had like the leaders of the schools. It was like, why are they in charge? Now this makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that. This also helps some stuff from last season with that. Did we see the 2 ones we haven't seen yet? In that like round table, or were they like dark heads or something?
I don't
remember because it definitely seems like we're about to see the Haven, the headmaster. Seems like he's going to be a super important character.
Probably.
So, I'm interested to see what that design is. Would have liked, request a female headmaster.
Same.
Sure.
I was about to be like, can there be a woman?
Yeah. This is a valid complaint before you start your YouTube comments about that. The show, in the beginning, the show has almost all female characters, and almost every character they've introduced since then has been male. I think that's kind of just like how it's happened for Miles and Carrie. So, I'll say that. The exception being the maidens, I guess, but those aren't really characters.
They're just concepts.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm interested to see the Haven headmaster, though. That's it seems like an important part of the show. They say Haven's the next target, hoping the headmaster has answers. So they're definitely setting that up.
Yep.
So that's fine. That's where we're going. We're going to, we're going to do all of that, and hooray. And, Yeah. So, that being said, here is the worst part. I really hate this. Let me tell you, we, all of that was fine. And I'm like, okay, I hate that we did this dump, but it's fine. Everything you did here. But now we have to talk about Qrow's semblance. And his semblance is bad luck.
What?
He's a bad luck charm.
Okay, so like, again, what the heck is a semblance? None of this makes sense. Like, and okay, yeah. He says it's not just, you know, sometimes semblances aren't like something you do. But like, what? I really wasn't that bothered by this. Like, I thought it was kind of neat in that this is a different kind of semblance. It's annoying because it's Qrow, and he's big all mopey about it.
Here's my thing. Like,
it makes zero. It's like, who cares?
It's possible they do something cool with this. Like, right. First of all, it's like, how does this tie into him turning into a Qrow? I guess that we thought that was a semblance. I guess that's not a semblance. I guess that's a power. I guess it relates to Raven, whatever. This just sounded so stupid. Like, when they presented it. Like, what are you even talking about, Qrow? This is so bad. This was the bad writing of the episode, I think. Like, why do I care about Qrow's bad luck right now? Qrow is like unimportant compared to what you've said about this stuff, but yet, and we're about to do more important stuff with Qrow. I guess we're setting up like him being poisoned, but
right.
It just sounds so absurd. Like, his semblance is bad luck. What are you even talking about? Like, I know you can do something cool with this, but just show me that. Don't like vaguely say it's bad luck. Like, show me what you're gonna do with it. Don't just do this. This is stupid.
And in like the long history of semblances making zero sense.
Yeah. Like, First of all, semblance don't make sense in the first place. Second of all, this makes the least sense to me.
Yes.
Out of all the semblances. So good job. I'm just it's easier to ignore that part. But yeah, that whole Qrow speech was just so bad. Oh my God. Like, I really thought the rest of this episode was fine. Just that one part, I just completely lost me.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
And then the end of the episode is Qrow is like coughing up like what looks like ink. But is presumably
it's like purple.
You know, he's poisoned from Tyrion, scorpion poison. We talked about that last week. Yeah, that was pretty expected.
Yep.
Yeah. So rip Qrow, rip. He's dead. So I've heard speculation. Will we have to go to Raven to get the antidote for the poison? Something like that.
I doubt it.
Will Qrow die? Yes or no?
I don't think he'll die.
Yeah, I don't think he'll die either. I think we have bigger candidates to die. We'll talk about that. So let's talk about the Blake stuff. Blake stuff also good and bad, but you know, I don't know. Well, let's talk about it. So Blake with the parents, she wants to go see her dad. We have the continuation of Blake's mom liking son, which I think is really funny, actually.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, it's also really funny because her dad hates him, so like it's good.
Blake's mom, it's the biggest Sun fangirl. So, she's like, I want to hear more about Team RWBY. There you go. And, I actually think this is the best part of the episode, is, Blake and her dad talking for like 30 seconds. I thought it was like excellent.
Yes.
Like I think this might be the best writing Miles has ever done. She's Blake's dad, they're having tea and Blake's dad is like, you still like sugar with that, right? And like he puts the sugar in and then it's like all awkward.
Yes.
Like I was like impressed. Like this is like great. This is like true to life of seeing someone you haven't seen like in a long time and like incorporating that into like their normal actions. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I mean, granted, I thought the whole sequence with her dad was really good.
I think it's less good when they're making fun of their own designs, but yeah, like
that part's like funny and then also annoying.
Yeah, it's both. I agree, but specifically the sugar stuff, I thought was like excellent.
No, I liked it. No, it was good. It was really awkward and like we see her Blake gets it.
Yeah, I think like that's Miles' best writing of the episode, and Miles' worst writing is the Qrow speech. So there you go.
That's right.
But yeah, then he's like, is it warm in Vale? That outfit doesn't cover very much, which is like, I thought it actually was funny, especially the way his voice actor delivered that. I thought that was good, but also they're making fun of their new designs. Like, why you did that? It was your choice.
Like, it's funny because it's her dad and like,
yeah,
it's funny. Like, that's fine. And then it's even funnier because Blake is just gonna like be mean back. So it's fine.
Yeah.
But like, the fact that like you designed this, like why do you keep doing this? Like, okay, if you're a show that like actually makes fun of yourself and then you fix it later, that's fine.
Yeah, like more armor might help. Like, yeah, like agreed, but You know, like
Especially considering she literally got stabbed in the stomach last season. I really don't understand why her midriff is bared, but it's whatever.
yeah, people comments on no scar on her stomach from that. That's another thing. Yeah. The more armor might help. Yeah, there you go.
It's pretty good.
And then we get Blake talking about how can you still love me after what I did? I should have left the White Fang with you and
This
Mom.
is good stuff.
Okay,
Finally,
as our resident Blake expert, discuss
okay.
this.
So like we've been dealing. That's the thing. Like one, Blake was like non-existent. Volume 3, tragic. And like Volume 1 and Volume 2, like we're dealing, especially in Volume 2, we're dealing with like this White Fang stuff. And it was kind of weird, but it made sense. I guess her dad would know where she's been, like kind of keeping. They've been in the news, I guess, and everyone has like their little scrolls or whatever. So talking about the battle she's been in, how she's been like fighting the White Fang, and we finally have this payoff here. I mean, I don't know why it had to happen in Volume 4, but we finally have this payoff here where she's talking to her parents, she's apologizing for what she's done, and then it's kind of this. I mean, this is very. I mean, we're finally kind of getting that obvious struggle that Blake's been they've communicated it somewhat well with Blake's kind of internal struggle between like being the huntress she is and then also like a member of the White Fang and like her past, when she ran away and all that stuff, when she ran away from Team RWBY. I mean, not when she ran away from her parents, but this, like, I think it pays off really well here. This is kind of a little bit of a resolution for that part of Blake's life. And granted, I'm a little concerned now that we're chasing the spy, but we're gonna see what happens.
And then she's like, it's like, okay, we addressed that crucial part of her thing that we never addressed before. And then she's like, and then her dad's like, why do you leave your friends behind? The other very important thing that we need to address with Blake. And then Sun comes in.
It's like, really, we were getting somewhere. This is good stuff.
This is also Miles's worst writing of the episode. I think he's aware of what he's doing here, but it's just like I think it's like a lack of awareness as to how important this stuff is to address with Blake right now.
That's the thing. Like, okay, we literally don't have Blake for like the majority of Volume 3. We're dealing with Volume 4, and then it's like, oh, what LOL JK? Like, really?
Yeah. I really don't have a good sense of who Blake is anymore. I really think they just mangled.
It's really irritating.
I think they've mangled that character for me. I think the most evident thing about this is that I just don't know what Blake's voice sounds like. Like I like Aaron was talking in this episode as Blake, and I just was like, is this how Blake is supposed to sound? Like she sounded like RWBY for a little bit, and I'm like, does Blake sound like that? Like I just didn't hear her for an entire season. I don't even know anymore. I don't know if it's the performance or if it's just the distance. Like I don't know.
Well, the thing is also, I mean, honestly, they've mangled Blake and Yang, and then they're beginning to I honestly don't know who RWBY is anymore. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, is she still a person? Like, what?
Yeah, at least they keep doing RWBY like things with RWBY enough, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Like this Blake stuff, I guess I understand this is good for Blake's arc and stuff. I'm having a hard time connecting to what they're doing with her.
Well, the problem is like we have too many characters. We keep jumping around with them, and then we don't have enough time with any of our characters. They've like literally mangled Yang, and then they're mangling her character.
Yeah.
And then
a little early on the judge. Yeah, we'll see what they do with Yang, but yeah, with Blake specifically,
no, they're mangling Blake, and it's really irritating because she's my favorite character. And what's really infuriating about it is Blake has one of the most interesting backstories of any of our characters.
Yeah.
And she has a lot going on. She's very tied to a lot of the plots that we have, and they don't do anything with her, or they like completely mess it up, and it's super irritating.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll have to see more we go. We need more time with things, but
yeah, it's just a consequence of too many. They're doing too much. Like we haven't focused. This is the most we'll probably focus on Blake all season. I can't imagine like us getting deeper stuff with her the last 4 episodes. So I don't know. I would like to know why she left more than. I mean, she talks to Sun about it. She's like, I needed space. Like I need to see my family. But I don't know. I guess.
Well, we know why she left. We just need her to articulate the guilt she feels. Like
it's like, yeah, I understand the reasons, but like, how is she dealing with this emotionally and stuff?
Yeah, like we need her to articulate these things and talk about them.
Yeah. So, there you go. But then Sun comes in. How much did you hate Sun in that moment? And then her dad's like, I really don't like you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I want her dad to just pick him up and toss him.
Yeah, he definitely could. So
Yeah, no, he could just pick him up and throw
should
him.
do that.
Like,
But then we get
that's what
double slap on Son. No concept of privacy, no respect for personal space. I guess so. I feel like there's more reasons to be mad at Son here beyond these.
Yes.
He also kind of stalked you and followed you home, and that was also really bad and stuff like that.
Just beat him up.
Got into that. But then he's like, your mom said something weird about the White Fang. Blah 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 blah. Masks.
They don't
blah,
wear
blah,
masks.
blah. Yeah. And they throw the phone, and then like 5 seconds later, we hear like, and then it's the spy, and we're following the White Fang spy, and the White Fang's evil. White Fang is evil. I totally called it, and I'm bringing your daughter back. Like, why are we doubting that the White Fang is evil? I guess we didn't know that they're evil here, but that was also like 3 episodes ago, and
it's just so stupid. Like, you're not tricking any of us. Like.
Well, you already gave that away. That's the thing. They already paid that off, like, with the agents, last time they showed up, so.
For real, like, what? And then also, Son is annoying, like, no one cares. And then.
This line from Son, the White Fang is evil, I totally called it. Like, that's vintage Son. It was good. It was good stuff, even though it was awful. Like, the worst part was him barging in, like, when we're about to get to actually important things, but the spy stuff was ridiculous, so I think it was matched, but.
And then, like, okay, for half a second, it was like, she's wearing a mask, and I didn't see her hair at first. I was like, oh my god, is it Weiss? And then it wasn't Weiss, and I was like, darn
why would it be Weiss? No, what?
who cares? I wouldn't even care. Like, I would just be like, I'm fine.
You would be like, monochrome happening, let's go. Like,
I wouldn't even care.
Yeah, I wouldn't even care. So
but no, it's totally her ex-girlfriend, who's like, or what's her face from
what? I'm trying.
She's from they talked about it like 3 episodes ago, and they were like, "Oh, I'll be happy to know you're back."
Sister Ilya, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You think it's her? Okay, that's the speculation I saw as well. Yeah.
It has to be her. It doesn't matter.
Like, I could not care less who that is. Like, boy. I really hope we don't see that chase sequence. Like, let's not. Let's move on. Let's move on. Yeah. So thoughts on the direction of this plot line? Overall, how do you think Blake in Menagerie has been?
I mean, I think Blake in Menagerie has been good. I mean, it's definitely interesting. I am interested to see more about the White Fang. I would be more happy with it if it was like an actual duality thing, but it's not, so we'll just have to see. Yeah,
that's the biggest thing with White Fang. You'd love if they actually painted it as shades of gray, but the show continues to just this actually hasn't just been season 3 and 4. This was seasons 1 and 2. Like, they've consistently failed to present the White Fang in any sort of gray light. Like, even though humans are a mix of good and evil, the White Fang is not on this show. Like,
and I'm getting like,
and that was a reference to the creation myth, but yeah.
Yes, nice.
Thank you. Yes, and you're beginning to what?
I'm just getting I'm just beginning to get irritated with the show where they're like, we're going to tell the audience this, and the protagonists don't know, or we're going to let it keep going for, like, episode after episode, which, like, that's fine if you do it occasionally, or do it well. What's going to be, I just really don't want there to be something stupid where, like, Blake gets tricked, and we know it's a trick, like, that stuff just irritates me to no end. It's so dumb. And
yeah, I don't know why we're repeating, like, is the White Fang good? Like, we've done this. Like, why are we doing this again?
No.
Yeah. I guess Menagerie Blake plotline has been good for Blake, bad, like, overall show mythology. And I do think the Blake character stuff they've done this season has been the best stuff. Blake continues to be on the screen more than any other character. Like, this episode definitely reinforced that.
Thank God.
Yeah, so that's good. We'll see where they end it. I certainly have no faith that Blake will be out of Menagerie by the end of the season, but maybe she'll be in
none of our characters will be together.
Yeah, so let's talk about okay, so I have some notes here. Let me go through this. So we had I think I hit all this. I have some questions to wrap things up here. So we talk about this, we're setting up this Haven attack this episode. We're all going to Haven, the Haven attack. Will it happen in the finale by the end of the season? This attack on Haven?
I think so, yes. Well, okay, the attack on Haven. Like, I don't think Salem will attack Haven. I do think they're going to get to Haven and something's going to be going on. Like, no good things.
So you think we will get to Haven with RWBY, but the attack will not happen yet?
Yes.
Okay, I agree with that. I think that it's too soon to have the attack happen, but I don't know what else the finale will be.
I really don't know. Like, maybe it'll be kind of more of a revelation thing, which if they do it well, that'd be nice, but they're not going to, so we'll see.
But like Qrow says in this episode, they need to build up troops and stuff, and it doesn't seem like things are coming together fast enough. This episode
And they're not really on the march. Like, we've seen Salem occasionally, and it's more like, get the girl.
Yeah, I feel like we need to see Salem a few more times to set that up, and I don't think we'll have enough time for that. So, Ruby's there, the attack's not happening. Will Blake be in Haven by the end of the season?
No.
Yeah, I think that one could go either way, but I guess no. But I would really hope that it would be yes.
I think Blake is probably the most likely to perhaps be in Haven.
Yeah, I think she's the most likely out of the others, which answers our other questions. Will Weiss be there?
No, I think Weiss could be. She won't be, though.
Weiss is the only one where they've set it up well enough that she could just randomly show up in Haven.
We don't know where she is. Like,
because she could have left the mansion and then just be gone. Yeah, like that, they said that they did enough with that. I've heard a lot of pushback on that. People think that she'll stay there, and then so the best thing I heard from people counteracting what I said, like we won't see Weiss until she's already escaped, was that we haven't done anything yet with Klein, the butler. So I think that's true. I think we need to do something with Klein. So I think Weiss probably will still be in the mansion the next time we see her, which means she won't be in Haven by the end of the season.
Yeah, probably.
Yang we've seen the least of. No chance.
No chance. Zero.
Yeah. I think it's like a guarantee to see Yang next episode. That's what I would say. Like it's been way too long. We've got to see her again.
I agree.
I could see the finale being Blake makes it to Haven to like uncover some White Fang plot, and like her and Ruby reunite, and we have the Bumblebee ending that Delaney has dreamed of, and there you go.
It's Ladybug.
The Ladybug, okay, there you go. I confused my animals, my insects that I confused my elements that are also of another show that we cover that are also ship names in this show. So there you go. Yeah, I think that could. Do you want that to happen? Our Ladybug ending?
I mean, it's not going to happen, but like I'd be okay with it.
I mean, they're just them talking. Like we use the ship names at this point just for people like interacting.
Ladybug talking would be excellent.
Yeah, that could happen.
Because there was a lot more. Like they interacted a lot more, like in season like Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Yeah.
And I would just appreciate that a lot because I love them.
Yeah. There you go. More questions. So, we talked about the Otspin Salem, the brothers thing. So here's some people who could die. So is Qrow dying? We said no, probably. Blake's dad.
Maybe. Probably.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hype for this one. Whenever anyone shows like attachment to people and like emotions, people call them dying. I could see Blake's dad dying. It would have no impact on me, but I could see it happening. Son.
Let Blake live.
Son.
Maybe.
No, there's no chance they're killing Son. They like Son too much.
That's fair.
They're gonna be there. We thought Blake was dying for a while last season.
You thought. I was like, please, no.
Who's their big Pyrrha death this season though? The only one that's Jaune? I don't think so. Like
they're not going to kill him.
Qrow is the only one that would be in that realm who they've set up at all dying.
That's true.
Far. So I don't know who it would be.
I don't think they're going to have a Pyrrha. I don't know. I don't know who their big.
They might just not kill anyone. Yeah, they might not. So they've decided to what?
Just curse.
They'll just have cursing instead of dying.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's something I said earlier. Is Osmond's cane? We talked about this on an earlier podcast forever ago. Is that one of the relics? Is it the relic of knowledge?
It could be.
Because I think we talked about Osmond.
But the thing is, there was a relic. Like they were trying to protect the relic that was in Beacon.
Did they? I guess so. Yeah.
She has the relic, which I mean, that could be the cane. We don't know, but
yeah, I don't even know. Do we know any of the other relics? It's too vague. I don't know. I don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah. And are the maidens connected to the relics? Yes or no?
I would hope so, but who knows?
Team RWBY involved?
Please.
Probably not. I think no for all of those. I think they're separate.
I'm just tired of it.
Oh, will we see a maiden this season?
No.
We really should. We really should.
We're not going to, but we should.
Yeah. Will we do something cool with that kid?
No.
I don't know.
Not at all. What is his name?
Oscar, right? Yeah, there you go. They're gonna do something. It's not like nothing's gonna happen in the finale. We're saying no, but something's gonna happen. So I just don't wonder.
I just have no idea what. Like, I don't know where the show's going. Like, I don't know.
Last season was much easier to predict because we were like, okay, like everything's gonna go to crap.
Everyone's gonna die,
and everyone's gonna die. Like we knew Piero was gonna die. We knew that like the we're gonna fall. Like we actually called all that. This season, I had no idea what they're doing. So like,
who knows?
We'll see. Let us know what your predictions are for the last 4 episodes. YouTube comments on the website. We will start. We had good discussion on the YouTube video last time, so that's good. Keep that up, guys. And we'll be back whenever the show is back. You would assume next week. If they do weekly, we'll be done by the end of January. If we do the next 4 Saturdays, but we'll see if that's true.
Who knows?
I'd love if they made a post announcing when the last 4 episodes will air.
That'd be helpful, but they're not going to do that.
Last year we took like a week off in between the 2-part finale and the rest of it, so maybe we'll do that again. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? So, last comments, Delaney?
This episode was okay. I have no idea where we're going.
Yeah. Despite being a very long negative discussion in the beginning, it was fine. Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah. Overlyanimated.com. Consider supporting us on patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to our patrons, Mitch Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, Jamie, Rachel, John, Ryan, Catherine, Taylor, Davon, Jade, John, Finition, Victoria, Katrin, and Steve. AK, Fever, Mitch, Carter, Steve, Beach Strange, Nathan, Fillion, Buzz, Like, Man, Leonard, Jonas, Johnny, Bravo, Brian, Cook, Cat, Needle, Diamond, Day, Jewel, Garfield, Fusion, Scarlet, Patron, Catering, Freaking Commenter, Steve. Let us know what you thought, and we will see you guys whenever the next RWBY episode is, and we'll have some movie discussions and other stuff in between then on overlyanimated.com. Check out all that, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.